Two.
Hey, everybody, I'm Corey, and I'm joined by co-hosts PJ Dolan and Joe Mendoza. And today we're going to start this off. I am one day fresh into being 21 years old. So here is to our viewers who have stopped by on each stream, people who have cared about sports and listened to us rambling about it, stuck by jersey discussions and talking about prospects of seasons. And I'll drink to that. All right. We're going to start on the topic of a man whose name you probably don't know how to pronounce because I didn't until Gerald and I were talking about this before. Darius Geis, or spelled Juice. The Geis is lice. He has been arrested for strangulation, a felony count, as well as different counts of assault. And the Redskins have released him. Their running back released
him. The Washington football team has released him.
The Washington football team has released him. Now, Gerald, I turn to you, the resident Washington football team fan. What's going on?
Well, seems like every single time this team tries to do a good thing, they end up shooting themselves in the foot. And I don't know. I think Darius Geis has had domestic abuse problems before. But obviously, Dan Snyder, being who he is, will overlook anything to try to get a good player in his eyes on the team and for him to stay in Washington. So something might have been overlooked. But obviously, this was not expected. He has been arrested for domestic violence-related charges, including strangulation, which is a felony. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than fuck that guy, and this season's just going to be terrible for the Redskins because every single time you take 2 steps forward, they take 10 steps back.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yep. But
shout out to Ron Rivera for cutting him immediately.
Ron Rivera is the one bright spot of this entire season.
Ron Rivera is there to change the culture of the organization, and
boy, is he doing something.
Yes, sir.
Also, Alex Smith looks like he's apparently he's doing good.
Alex Smith's ready to go. Never thought I'd say that again after that injury. There's no way, man. Did you watch the ESPN documentary on that?
I didn't. Honestly, I didn't.
It was disgusting. I mean, it was a good documentary, but just they show up close, into the surgery and his recovery and all that. Dude, I don't know how he's back to playing football.
Well, Alex Smith?
Yeah.
Well, my apologies for stepping out. I had a matter that I had to concern myself with. Well, I'm going to take this to the next, as we're talking about Alex Smith returning to football. So are so many athletes returning to their sports. And we've got 2 seasons, more than 2 seasons as of right now, the WNBA, International Football, American basketball, college football is looking to gear up. So is the NFL, and the MLB everybody's geared up. Everybody's either started or going to start soon. So we're all avid MLB fans. I rep my Dodgers. PJ, you rep who you're wearing the cap of right now. And Gerald is an unfortunate Orioles fan. What are your takeaways from 2 weeks into the season? Now, right now, we're only about 12 games in for the teams who have played the most games. But we're a sixth of the way through the season, which would place us in about mid-May if this were a regular ball season. So you can't really compare it to anything here, but what are your takeaways from here? I'm going to start with who looks the best.
Aaron Judge, my king, MVP already. Dude's on absolute tear this season. Yeah, Like his rookie season was something, but if he finishes this season, even if it's 60 games, he could put up 162 game season numbers. The way this guy's going, it's ridiculous to watch. It's a pleasure to watch. And let's also give a shout out. The Yankees are lighting the league up. So, I'm sitting pretty. That's why I'm dressed like this. Now, Tanaka came back after getting drilled in the head tonight. And
he didn't get drilled in the head tonight.
Well, he came back tonight after
getting drilled in the head.
In the head.
Grammar.
Five
BJ.
score.
You were educated in Howard County. You should be speaking with good grammar.
Anyway, for the working folk out there, 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 54 pitches for Tanaka in his return to the MLB. And that's all I have to say about that.
Gerald, who's looking nice to you?
Honestly, I'm not going to lie. With the exception of the sweep that we just had at the hands of the Marlins.
Not a good look.
Not a good
look.
The
Orioles.
Not good for the brand.
But everything else they've done is actually pretty good. Including tonight. The Orioles, right now, it's the middle of the 9th inning. They're playing in Washington, D.C., the defending champions. And they're winning 11-0.
Absurd.
So there's flashes of brilliance with this young crew right now. And I think it's a sense of we have nothing to lose, so let's just go for it. And it seems to be working. Their bats are lighting everything up. And somehow their bullpen is keeping everything together unless you're playing the Marlins. So
listen, minus the Marlins series with an expanded playoff, if the Orioles keep it this way, Orioles playoffs, you feeling
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Now, I agree with you with both of you guys. The Orioles right now are a playoff team. Anybody above 500 is going to be a playoff team, even people who eke in under 500. And that's the same way the NBA works now with as many teams. But I think the Orioles look nice. I think the Yankees look nice. As a Dodgers fan, I've been very happy and very unhappy with our production in games, however well we do or however poorly we do. I'm upset with our starting pitching rotation, and we're giving up runs that we don't need to, but the bullpen is lights out. But I'm going to give some mentions to specific guys. Aaron Judge right now, as you said, lights out. 7 home runs, leads the league in slugging, home runs, extra base hits, because home runs are extra base hits. I believe he leads the league in runs. He's a winner right now. Other guys that I want to put out are Shane Bieber looks excellent for the Indians. He's gone. I don't remember. He's in his he's in 30+ strikeout territory right now with only having 3 starts, which is excellent. If you can get 10 strikeouts a game, you are money. Shane Bieber's looking great. Other guys who are looking really, really good are we've got even guys from the Orioles, like I guess he's a former Oriole. Zach Britton is looking great for the Yankees. They're gearing up. They're in postseason form already as we speak. Nobody else is doing anything spectacular. Max Muncy, Dodger guy, had a 2 home run game not too long ago. Corey Seager homered in 2 straight games. I think Corey Seager is a player to watch for this season. On a team where you've got guys like Mookie Betts and Justin Turner and Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager got forgotten about after his Tommy John surgery, but then even less so after his hip surgery, which is a bigger injury. But now he's 2 years clear from that. I see him doing spectacular things. What I'd like to get on to also pleasantly surprising teams. The surprising ones are anybody you see at the top. We knew who was going to be very good in the league. The Twins are looking spectacular right now. I believe they lead their division in wins. However, I want to move into who is not looking great, because we've got guys all over. I'm going to lead with who's not looking great. I think the San Francisco Giants might break the record for the worst winning percentage in MLB history. They're not going to be good. They're already, I believe they only have 2 wins. and they're going to go up against the Dodgers in a 4-game homestand for the Dodgers. This is not a good look for anybody going into the rest of the season. So we'll have to see where it goes from there. But Gerald, who do you think has performed the worst so far this season?
I'll be honest. Kansas City Royals. They have the worst win percentage right now at 286. Actually, no, hold on. The Rangers have a little bit worse, but they have.
Oh, I also forgot to mention the Pittsburgh Pirates were the team that I meant to say instead of the San Francisco Giants. The Pittsburgh Pirates are awful. They look terrible. Their base running, their coaching, their fielding is all bad. They're not getting any runs that way, and that's why they only have literally 2 wins.
Well, again, like I said, the Royals and the Rangers, at least on the American League side, seem to be god awful. The Royals already have 10 losses under their belt, which is impressive. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but like when they made this decision to, with the collective bargaining agreement, I think it was, or whatever agreement they did between the league and the Players Association to expand the playoff with 16 teams. Part of that also means we're going to see some pretty bad teams get into the playoffs and get murdered by the Dodgers and the Yankees. So, I mean, for you guys, get ready for batting practice on some of these teams that end up squeaking in. But I don't know if that's necessarily the product people want to see right now from the league, especially being so sports deprived. Or maybe they do. Maybe they do want to just see a team get absolutely destroyed.
Well, everybody likes watching a team get shelled. There's 2 things that you like watching the most in baseball. You like either a very close game that ends in a walk-off, or you like seeing a team get absolutely obliterated at another man's hands. And right now, as you said, that is happening with the Orioles and Nationals. But I'm going to disagree with that playoff assumption that you made of it's a lot of teams for the Dodgers and the Yankees to run through, because baseball is the only sport that I will not bet on. I'm not putting money on because anything can happen any day in baseball. That's why we play every single day. Anything can happen. The Milwaukee Brewers right now, who are not very good, could end up upsetting, or I'll even give a worse one. The Cincinnati Reds somehow could sneak in the playoffs and then upset the Dodgers in the first round.
Now with the Reds, first of all, Sonny Gray didn't do anything for the Yankees, and now all of a sudden he's Jesus.
He was excellent for the A's.
But the Reds could have such a much better record if their bullpen wasn't ass. Their starting rotation is, I think, starting off the season great, and they just blow each game because their bullpen isn't worth a damn.
Can I just say the Reds seem to be the team that always gets put up as the sleeper that never wakes up.
That's what they are right now.
No, but that has happened so many years at this point. Like I have lost count of how many times MLB Network, ESPN, and Fox Sports all think the Cincinnati Reds, like, this is their year, they're going to blow up because they have like something or something that works for them here and there. But like you said, this year the problem is the bullpen that doesn't exist. But it's always the Cincinnati Reds. It's never another team. Am I the only one noticing
And
this?
the White Sox.
It's always the Reds.
I've heard the White Sox are a sleeper team each year for the last 5 years. And I mean, right now they're 7-6, but now what's great for me is that the Red Sox are absolutely terrible this year. Boston is garbage this year. And it's great to watch.
Well, that got me into the next question that I have on MLB, and that's going to wrap up our segment on MLB. But what were things that you're either surprised about or you 100% called coming into the season? For me, it would be the Red Sox. The Red Sox, I'm still surprised, and it's 2 years out from their World Series victory. They came off a World Series win, lost nobody on their roster. They kept the same exact team and didn't even make the playoffs. A surprise to me, though, but I called that coming into this year. A surprise is the Washington Nationals performing so poorly. I believe they're 4-5 right now. They're soon to be 4-6. And coming off of a championship year, I understand right now I do not believe they have Juan Soto on the roster yet.
Juan
They
Soto
lost-
came back last game, but that's
He's
still
back,
like
okay.
a couple games without him.
Right. They had a couple games without Juan Soto, who is, by everybody's measure, the best young gun in the MLB when it comes to somebody who's 20 years old. But then they lost Anthony Rendon, but they still have the same lineup. They didn't make any big acquisitions. They didn't have any enormous losses aside from Tony Two Bags, as the fans so love to call him. They didn't do much. And now, coming off of a World Series win, they're not having the productivity that they did.
Yeah, I get that. I can see your point. For me, the thing that surprised me so far this season are the damn Orioles. Like,
Yeah.
they're not.
They're
supposed to-
surprising.
That is surprising, especially the day when I was listening to sports radio after they had finished sweeping the Rays, and they looked really good while doing that. And then obviously that kind of got pat down when they got swept by the Marlins. But right now, again, like you said, 11-0 against the Nationals. That is final, by the way. That is now final. But hey, second place in the AL East. I think.
Yeah, the tied with Tampa. Well, no, now they're in first. Or now they're in second behind the Yankees.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
At 6-7.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, that's a surprise. What I definitely am not surprised at is the Yankees. I mean, even in their warm-up games, you could tell that was going to be the team to beat in the American League, which is why everyone keeps on predicting a Yankees-Dodgers World Series that we've all been craving for about the last 5 years. So, I mean, obviously, Aaron Judge going off. What's his name? Stanton actually producing runs instead of just getting injured. And obviously, the Yankees pitching is great. So, yeah, it was to be expected. It's still fun to watch, though.
Now, my surprise. So I have a couple surprises here. We got the Rockies are winning their division right now. I get it's early, but the Rockies.
Come on, that's my division. How are we not in first?
I'd like to give a special shout out to Gio Urshela, who is making a great case for his future. Last year, the Yankees called him up about halfway through the season because, we had the entire team injured. And everybody said, oh, it's just a fluke year. Like, it's just a rookie, blah, 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 blah. Gio Urshela is playing lights out right now.
Another mention that I would like to put out for somebody really surprising comes from the team we were minutes ago shit-talking, and that's Nick Castellanos of the Reds, who has 6 home runs right now. Not all in the same game. That would be a record. But in the season so far, he has 6 home runs, trailing Aaron Judge by only 1. Anybody who trails Aaron Judge by 1 home run is doing very well. And at this point, I'm looking at the home run list right now, and it's Aaron Judge, Yankees. Then it's Nick Castellanos, Moran of the Pirates, Trevor Story of the Rockies, Grissom of the Padres, Hernandez of the Blue Jays. None of these guys, except for Aaron Judge and Trevor Story, are on contending teams. We see Reds, Pirates, Padres, Blue Jays. None of these teams are doing it, which goes to tell me that those teams lack any kind of skill in their pitching department. Guys can generate runs. There's a statistic I saw the other day that was like Jake DeGrom in his last 80 starts, the Mets had a losing record in any of his starts. And his ERA, he had a sub-2 ERA and a .99 or 0.96 whip, which are spectacular numbers. There's a reason why he won back-to-back Cy Young, because Jake DeGrom is the single most dominant pitcher in baseball right now. The issue that it comes to is, can your team back you up? And right now, it looks to me, looking off this, that there are guys on the Reds and the Pirates who are doing spectacularly, but they don't have pitching to back them up, which is a hard-found problem to have in the MLB. Normally, the cards are reversed. What do you think about that, Gerald? Does pitching matter more than hitting, or how would you take it? What would you rather have when building a team?
Honestly, it's like you said, you want good pitchers, but you need to be able to build around them. So, with that being said, at least in the American League, you're always going to go for hitters first because it's hitters paradise league basically, and long ball is king, and that's what everyone in the American League tries to do. Now, if
Chicks
you're in the
dig the long ball.
huh?
Chicks dig the long ball.
Yes, they do.
Shout out Sports Center.
Yeah, all right. But in the National League, pitching dominance is much more important because the game is a lot more, if I could say, athletic and maybe a little more involved for the people actually fielding and playing the ball. So if you're in the American League, you get pitchers who can help your batters out. But if you're in the National League, you need to build around your pitchers and make them the center of your team and just have guys who can back them up.
I 100% agree with that. I think it starts at generating runs. You can't win a ball game if you don't get any runs, but you also need your pitchers to stop the other guys from getting 5 of them. Now we're going to move into the other sport, which is finding its pace right now, and that's the NBA. Has anybody? I don't know about if you guys have watched. I'm assuming PJ hasn't been watching a whole lot because the Knicks aren't in it.
I've been watching. My boy Carmelo Anthony's on the Blazers right now, and he's putting on a show. I've been watching a couple of Blazers games.
Sorry, I've not been able to watch much. I've been getting employed.
Well, the problems that I'm seeing right now watching the NBA is the Wizards were invited to the bubble by mistake, is what I believe. The Wizards are a god-awful team that I somehow like, and we haven't been able to put up, I believe, a single W on the scoreboard so far. Another team which is unfortunately misbehaving is the Memphis Grizzlies. They're not putting together any kind of production out there. A very good look for a team is the Milwaukee Bucks, who just picked up as soon as they started. But it's all working out for everybody, I guess. Everybody's in there for a reason.
Again, I guess they really only needed to restart the league to really crown a champion because of exactly when they had to cut the league short. I still haven't heard anything from Rudy Gobert. I am waiting for the day that either his teammates or the opposing team decides to jump him.
Yeah, the Utah Jazz aren't seeing much production, but as you said, they're only having this so that they can crown a champion, and that's why you play the game. So they have to keep the season up, doing everything that it does. But at the same time, it almost seems like it's all for none. You should have just put the 8 teams that qualified into the playoffs and do that, not run through a qualifying series. PJ, what do you think about any of their format, how it could be better, how it is good?
I mean, I personally am a fan of, unbiased because of Carmelo Anthony. Teams like the Blazers that made it to the Western Conference Final last year and just happened to have not so good of a year this year, they get a chance to prove themselves. I'm a fan of the expanded playoffs just for this season. I don't want to see them stick around unless the Knicks are the 9th seed, of course, in which case the extended playoffs can always stay. We love the Knicks in the playoffs.
Does that go for MLB as well?
If the Yankees need to squeak into the playoffs, and
I'm
all for an expanded playoffs in the MLB, absolutely not. I think,
right.
I mean, aside this year is an exception because you have 60 games this year. That's not a lot of games baseball wise, but if after 162 games you don't have a playoff spot, you probably don't deserve a playoff spot. What I am a fan of in the MLB is the 3 home games for the wild card that they're implementing this year. 3-game series, but the home, all 3 games are home for the higher seed. I've always thought the wild card should be more than 1 game.
Well, the problem with the wild card is that every single game ever in MLB history, anything slated on a schedule in the modern era is a 3-game or 4-game stretch. And you can say the All-Star game, and that's exhibition. The All-Star game now no longer gives home field advantage to the division winner or the conference winner of whichever. Yeah, it doesn't give home field advantage.
Pretty
The wild card should not come down to 1 game. The wild card needs to be 3. And as you said, PJ, they're doing 3 games. It's a home stand for the higher, but it's a ridiculous. It's ridiculous they even implemented it like that in the first place.
Absolutely. Now, NBA, I mean, expanded playoffs this year, like I said, is fine for any league that they want. Except, the Rangers got swept. RIP to my chance at the playoffs until October when the Yankees roll around.
By the way, PJ, do you owe anyone money for that?
No, I don't actually, because I've never agreed to that deal. Anyone curious, you can look at Twitter.
In shameless plug right here, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we post when we're going live and any relevant information right to our Twitter page, and that is at We Talk Sports 20. Gerald's pulling it up in a little banner at the bottom. But We Talk Sports 20 is our home for when you know that we're going live, for any information that we decide to put. There's an S at the end of sports. But
I'm having a rough day. I don't know if anyone can tell.
Gerald lost his burrito for about 20 minutes before the show started, so that's why his nickname is Gerald Burrito Mendoza.
Gerald accidentally ordered carryout instead of delivery, and so he had to drive to the burrito store. Also chose, on his own volition, Chipotle, and we all know Doba's better.
Of a man of rice, a rice connoisseur such as Gerald should understand.
I would think with all the rice integrity that you have that you would understand good rice when you tasted it. Shout out Doba.
Not sponsored, but could be.
Not sponsored. But could be.
Sponsor us, Doba.
All right, and as you mentioned the Rangers, that brings me into the next little mention of the NHL. The Penguins, out.
Are out.
No more Pittsburgh. No more dealing with all that. The Rangers, out. The next teams are going to filter in. The Capitals, still in. I can keep going with that. I'll take it. I'll take a win. But I'd rather have it on a team I care about. Has anybody been following hockey in the playoffs?
I watched all the Rangers games. Obviously, they lost all 3 of those games, so that was great. The Islanders moved on today.
Also, what, you're rooting for the Islanders now?
Oh, absolutely not. I'll just watch hockey and hope that the Capitals don't win, so I don't have to listen to my Capitals fans brag about another championship.
One of which claims you owe him money.
I don't know. All right. Anyway,
Don't worry, this isn't the family-friendly show.
yeah, I don't know
Right.
shit.
Doesn't know him anything.
All right.
All right, we're moving on. Gerald's going to take this section over because he's the only person who knows what's going on. But the Champions League is back, or so I've heard. Gerald, tell us about that.
The Champions League, yes, it is coming back. Now, this is usually done by the month of May, but obviously everything was shut down completely at the end of March because I'm still going to blame Rudy Gobert for that.
It's all Rudy Gobert's fault. All of it. This entire apocalypse we're living in. Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert is the Antichrist.
Holy Christ, Gerald.
Let me
What
finish.
an accusation.
Let me finish. Is the Antichrist to Papa John's Satan. Because Papa John is the one who declared that a day of reckoning was coming. Rudy Gobert put it into action. So,
Rudy.
that being said, oh, by the way, guess who got a job at a Christian school? Is it
Not
obvious?
Rudy Gobert.
Not Rudy Gobert. But yeah, So the last games that were played were in March, mid-March. But they started back up earlier this week. And this is the second leg of some of these matches that already have, because they do one home, one away match, and they combine the score to try to see who goes forward. So in this case, earlier today, Manchester City was playing Real Madrid. Now they had already won 2-1 in their first match. And in this second match, they also won again 2-1, which means they have knocked Real Madrid out of the Champions League. So they're not going to win a 12 cup. Juventus won today against Lyon, which means they advance. Tomorrow, Barcelona plays Napoli, and Bayern Munich plays Chelsea tomorrow as well. And if you haven't been watching Chelsea, the best U.S.-born player, possibly in history,
Christian
is
Pulisic.
on that team.
Yeah.
Christian Pulisic. He is actually at an extremely high level, like player of the year level, like on the cusp of rivaling Ronaldo and Messi to an extent. Like he's one of the next young stars of the world, and it was finally, thankfully, someone from the U.S. so that we aren't just the laughing stock of the world when it comes to soccer. Also, I don't know how you guys feel about your channel loyalties for sports. Like, what is your favorite network to watch sports on?
Not Fox.
Just a random question.
Not Fox.
Yeah.
Not Fox.
I specifically like watching Masson. I enjoy the broadcast of that. But if I have to pick a major network, I don't mind watching ESPN. I think their broadcasts and telecasts of games are better than anything else out there.
Right. What I mean is like major telecasts for like national championships and finals and World Series and all that. And so like
Whoever does
obviously-
the college football playoff, that one.
ESPN.
Yeah. Then ESPN.
Yeah. PJ, you love Fox because you
He likes
love
Yes
Joe Buck.
Sports.
Oh, I despise Fox, bro. You don't even joke about me liking having to watch Fox.
No, okay. So,
I'll be honest. If NBC still had basketball,
no, that's
Sunday
my
Night
thing.
Football
Is
is
that
nice.
my
I do
favorite
need to put
network-
this out there and change my mind. NBA on TNT is the best program out there.
oh yeah, absolutely.
With Shaq, Kenny the Jet, Chuck, and Ernie. It's comedy. It's not even a sports show. It's comedy. And then you get to the broadcast, and it's Kevin Harlan. You got Doris Burke out there. It's excellent. It's NBA on TNT is the best thing there is.
Oh yeah.
But for big time things, I'm going ESPN.
I wish TNT had the NBA finals, I'll be honest.
Ernie commentates baseball games.
Oh, all right. Well, I think
Yes.
and for myself, honestly, NBC Sports, anything that they do is really good.
They do a great job with the hockey playoffs every year.
They do a great job with the NHL. They do a phenomenal job with the Olympics.
Bob Costas.
I mean, yeah.
NBC.
Oh, he doesn't actually work there anymore.
Really?
Well,
He
he
got
got pink
fired
eye
after
during the
criticizing
last
the NFL.
Olympics.
Don't you remember?
No, I don't remember that. That's rough.
He got pink eye during the last Olympics. Couldn't work.
That was 3 Olympics ago.
All right. Well, same thing.
They're all the same.
The winter ones are.
Somebody's doing jumping jacks, and the other person is weightlifting.
Anyway. But I think we're all in agreement. Nobody likes watching sports on CBS.
No, CBS is not. Well, they don't have any flair. You know, CBS is just it's moseying around. It's telecasting, but there's
Right.
nothing. special there.
CBS is to sports what Tim Kaine was to VP picks.
There you go.
Like a generic picture that came with the frame. Like, I guess I'll watch, but I'm not watching CBS Sports
Oh no,
because they have a
Gerald.
personality.
Lest we forget that ABC is in control of the NBA Finals.
They've got Mike Breen though.
Mike Breen is the next caller for MSG Networks.
Bang!
Love Mike Green.
Mike Breen is great.
Mike Breen. Sorry.
He's a blood. Mike Breen.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest. Like, the only thing that is passable from CBS is March Madness, and only because it's March Madness. ESPN needs to buy that contract.
Well, you've got Dick Vitale. You need Dick Vitale for March Madness. You can't have it without Dick Vitale. I'm gonna break out my Dick Vitale impression here for oh my goodness, is that even human? That's Dick Vitale. You can't miss it.
Bang! Bang!
Oh my
Unbelievable!
goodness. Yeah. Calling the cardiac Kemba shot.
Oh my god. But anyway, the whole point of that whole tangent was that I can't watch the Champions League because their soccer broadcasting is on CBS, at least here in the US, and it's absolutely atrocious.
Watch it on Univision.
They don't have it anymore.
Really? Oh.
I think it's on either on NBC Universal or Bein Sport.
The Spanish broadcasters are always better.
I know, but I honestly I do like Univision.
Yeah, Univision they do it well for any kind of
unless
Spanish broadcast.
Unless anyone's playing Mexico.
Oh,
Then I cannot stand them.
Oh, we have already captured Gerald's disdain for Mexican sports fans in past episodes. Gerald hates Mexican sports fans.
Well, hate is a strong word. Let's say
No, you maybe should rewatch the episode.
Wait.
Hate is a strong word, but it's time to use it.
Let me say I have a situational personal distancing code that Mexican soccer fans fit into when we play sports against them.
Gerald hates Mexicans.
That's the most diplomatic way this can happen.
That's it. Gerald hates
Also,
Mexicans.
just to change the subject real quick, the real problem with Champions League being on CBS.
That's not where I thought you were going to go ahead.
He's deflecting.
I'm not going there today. No, the real problem with the Champions League being on CBS is that CBS decided to put all the games on CBS All Access, so they're not even on cable. So you have to buy a subscription to CBS All Access to watch the games, which is useless.
Yep.
Putting games specifically on cable should be not legal.
I will gladly pay for NBC Sports Network, but I will never pay for CBS All Access.
No. I pay the only subscription bases I have right now are ESPN Plus because I enjoy my Saturday night fight night with UFC. And then I also pay for MLB TV to watch all the games except for Orioles and Nationals.
$60 for the whole season.
Yeah, for this season because it's short. Normally it's like $120. But I will not go and I will not buy. The problem is I can't watch Orioles games. I can't watch Masson because it's cable only. So you run into a problem there. I can't watch them on MLB TV because they're blacked out. I can't watch Nationals games either because Anne Arundel is close enough to DUC, I guess, that they don't allow it.
I don't know. I don't think they should have been doing anything blackout this season.
Not this season. You know, it used to be if you sell out your seats, then you don't black out the game. If you don't sell it out, then you can black it out. But in this case, you're not selling out anything.
I don't know. I just find it
Also,
strange. But anyway,
Before we move on. $5 for NHL League Pass. You can watch any playoff game this year.
Can't watch the Caps though; they would be blacked out.
Yeah,
but they're on NBC anyway, and
Correct.
they're easily
you can get that
accessed
through a digital antenna. Yep.
Yeah. I need to get a digital antenna at this point.
You need
'cause-
Dude,
to.
I got one for like $7 at Target.
It's the move. I would like to capture this as well right now as we're on any kind of irrelevant subject. Right now is the round 2 of PGA Championship, and Tiger Woods is not doing terribly. He's even, which is one better than the cut line. He's staying above water, but it looks like it's going to be hard for him to win considering it is Friday and he's back. But he does have Saturday and Sunday to recoup. Right now, Hao Tong Lee is in the lead with 8 under on the hole. But I also want to mention that the Yankees just lost to the Rays 1-0.
I sleep.
Well,
It's a multi-game series for a reason. I sleep. We're still winning our division.
wait, you guys had a game
Stop.
postponed yesterday?
No, we were playing the Phillies, and that got postponed because they played against the Marlins, and that whole thing went down.
And then you were going to play against the Orioles, right?
And we were going to play against the Orioles. So we ended up having back-to-back doubleheaders with the Phillies, and we split that. We split those.
So right now, I saw an issue earlier that the Cardinals have to play 50 games in 49 days. How do we feel about the condensed format for allowing these doubleheaders, and what does that mean for the team?
Well, if I can think back to what they did with the Orioles a couple days ago with the Marlins, because there was a doubleheader where one of them was home, one of them was away, like in the stats and everything. But they shortened them to 7 innings.
Yep.
And then after the 7th inning, they implemented the current extra inning rules, which means put a runner on second, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, and try to get it over with, I guess.
If I'm an
I
MLB
mean-
coach and I start off the 10th inning or the 8th inning in a doubleheader with a runner on second, the very first thing I do is tell my man to steal third. That's it.
I mean,
You take it. Nobody's going to think you're going to do it. Go for it.
yeah.
Hit and run. You're home.
Yeah, I get that. But, like, I get that they're trying to get every single MLB team to play 60 games, but I just think at some point it's just not going to be feasible for some of these teams, like the Cardinals. I mean, the Marlins pulled it off, I guess, but
I
don't
mean,
know.
later in the season, you got like a week left, and then say, God forbid, there's like an outbreak again, like the Marlins. There's no way they're making up those games.
well, no, of course not, because they still need to be done by, when is it, November?
Yep.
Yeah. Imagine if there's a World Series game the same day as an NFL game.
It's a real possibility.
Well, I'm sorry, Giants, but if the Yankees are in the World Series,
And you got Danny Jones.
dude, by the way, since Gerald brought it up, Daniel Jones has put on a bunch of muscle, and he looks like an absolute unit right now.
Still not as good as Josh Allen.
Give it time, bro.
Bills Mafia, baby. Shout out my mom.
I mean,
Josh Allen's the next Tom Brady. You heard it here first.
I thought the Washington football team was gonna hand the reins over to Dwayne Haskins, but since Alex Smith decided to start walking again,
Speaking of Tom Brady, I don't believe we have another segment left for the night.
no, nothing planned.
We're going to call this episode early, but before then, we're going to hit our last segment that we do every episode, and it is titled The Best Player in Each Sport by His Position, or by his league, and by his number. And we go by the episode. We're going to shrink that down and make it a little cuter for the audience. But we're episode 12 right now, so we have 12. I'm going to go easy. I'm taking NFL.
I'll do basketball.
And I'm gonna do the MLB.
All right, so I'll go ahead and start it off. A lot of good quarterbacks have come and gone. A lot of great quarterbacks have stayed around. A lot of excellent quarterbacks didn't even get to reach their prime, which is why the best number 12 in the NFL ever, Andrew Luck. No, I'm messing around. The best number 12 is TB12, Touchdown Tom, the man who does it all. He's got this, this many. It's Tom Brady.
It could be this many.
It will be this many come February. I'm telling you this right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are my pick for winning the Super Bowl. I've got it.
Ooh. Okay.
That's
I'm calling it here first. I got the
That's,
Bucks. I got the Bucks. Rob Gronkowski, LeSean McCoy. You've got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Touchdown Tom.
I'll tell you what, in 2013, that would have been a hell of a team.
I mean, yeah, I think
Except for Chris Godwin, who wouldn't have even been in college yet.
this is true. But you can't count out Touchdown Tom.
You can never count out touchdown. Down 28-3 at the half.
I still want to know what prayer he said at that Super Bowl that they came back and won.
It
Listen,
wasn't a prayer. It wasn't a prayer to any God we know. Is all I'm gonna say.
He had 3 Hail Marys, 4 Our Fathers, and I don't know how many other rosaries he went
And
through.
6 rings.
And 6 rings.
So yeah,
He said, God, if I win that one, I'll donate it to the Pope or something.
I'm taking Tampa Tom, Tampa Brady.
All right, PJ, you want to go? Apparently, according to sources, PJ is not picking a Knicks player.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't off the top of my head, which is a very rare occurrence because
According to Adrian Wojnarowski, Wojbomb, PJ is not picking a Knicks player for his.
you know I love my New York Knicks. I can't think of a number 12 off at the top of my head. So with this episode, we're going to have to go with Johnny Stockton.
John Stock. Yeah.
Utah Jazz legend. Should have a ring.
Doesn't. Because of one guy.
Terrible.
Who's got this many?
The same reason why Patrick Ewing doesn't have a ring.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to tell you this, PJ. I don't care. Patrick Ewing was a great player.
Patrick Ewing was the GOAT. Anyway.
No, he wasn't.
Allen Iverson, better than Patrick Ewing, doesn't have a ring. Barry Bonds doesn't have a ring. The best player all time in baseball, period, doesn't have a ring. Ringless.
Yeah, but Patrick Ewing was not the best player in basketball.
Not the best center in basketball.
Listen,
right.
each man has their own opinion.
And some of them are wrong.
Except for y'all's.
Anyway, I shouldn't be talking. I'm an Orioles fan. Speaking of baseball, best MLB player to wear number 12. Roberto Alomar.
Yeah.
10 Gold Glove Awards, 12 All-Star selections. Inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2011. And number 12 for him was retired by the Toronto Blue Jays the same year, making his number the only jersey retired by the Jays other than Jackie Robinson's.
All right, well, we got it all down. Number 12, shout out LaMarcus Aldridge, the post god. Didn't get just honorable mention. LMA, the GOAT. Now,
Oh, wait. Hold on. Sorry. We got to touch on these for a second. We got to touch on these college football schedules.
yeah, the college football schedules have just been released for each conference. The SEC, ACC, Big 10, and Big 12 are all in playing. Most teams have announced that they will not be hosting any fans at their home games. One of those is Penn State with a 106,000 capacity stadium, which will be a 0 capacity stadium.
I mean, that is the situation we're in. People decided to go out on Memorial Day without a mask, and here we are. But something else I'm noticing is that a lot of NCAA players are opting out of the season. Do you think them opting out of this NCAA season should affect the amount of time they have for eligibility in the NCAA?
I don't think so. I think you opt out of a season because of things unforeseen, and I don't think it should affect your eligibility. You should still get your 4 years in a red shirt. You should still be able to get all that. I think a senior opting out right now should not immediately have to declare for the draft. I think that they do need to get another season.
Yeah. But how about this? If they opt out, do you think their scholarship is still valid?
Yes, because they're still students, and they're still they're still students. However, I think the scholarship needs a little it's got to be in there somewhere, because if you're not a student athlete, you don't have your scholarship, and they're not going to be an athlete, so it has to be a conditional thing.
I get that. All that to say, in terms of colleges, did you hear what Howard University did to its students?
No.
They said they're not having any in-person classes or having people on campus.
That's what all
Today.
colleges are going to do a week.
I know, but they said
after.
no. Here's the problem. They announced it today in the afternoon.
Yep. As soon as everybody's already paid their tuition.
Right.
That's what all colleges are going to do. I'm not surprised.
But it doesn't make it right.
Like Towson said, you have the option of going there or not. Shout out Tigers. Tyler Rain's the GOAT. A week into the semester, I already know that Towson's just going to send out an email saying, "Oh, we have one confirmed COVID case. Shut it all down for the rest of the semester." They have this policy where all classes are optional to go in person, but if you want to go in person, you have to get a COVID test. I'm not even going to get the test because I know it's all going to be online. I'll just skip all that, and we're good.
I mean, anyway. I mean, no, I get it, but they still need to be called out for it because that's some garbage.
It's some garbage, but it was very foreseeable.
It's business. We all saw it coming.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It was just going to be
act surprised.
It was just
But,
a name and a hat of which college would be the one to do it.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that it's Howard. Howard University, not HCC. They're
Two different entities.
By the
not
way,
Dragon Wagon.
First of all,
Shout out Dragon Wagon.
as much as I slandered the Dragon Wagon during my tenure, due to coronavirus, I'm going to end up spending more time on HEC campus than Towson. Dragon Wagon for life, baby.
All right, and I believe that's going to end the episode. We've been Corey Janisoff.
PJ.
And Gerald Burrito Mendoza.
This has been episode 12. We will catch you next week. Same great place, same great time.